Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. United Community Bank, an independent family-owned and operated bank committed to empowering customers to achieve their financial goals. Member FDIC. Frazee Family Foods, what a hometown grocery store should be. Friendly staff, family-owned, and a wide variety of groceries to fulfill your needs.
Welcome to Spotlight on Frazee. I am Kitty Kivy-Lex, filling in for Hank. I am the younger version, maybe cuter, and much more calm. We miss you, Hank. I am here today with Mr. Andy Paulson, who is our industrial tech instructor, robotics coach, you name it, he does it. And I hear you are building a house in Frazee with your students. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Typically, we have a construction trades building class that we run. A lot of times we build a house in the back of the school, and then the house is moved on location. This year is a different situation. We are actually building a house on location here in Frazee. Bob Clary has signed a contract with us, and we are building a smaller two-bedroom home at his site. So the students actually meet for class on the location in the mornings. We spend 2 hours every morning and work on building the house. We've worked with John Olson and OK Lumber to come up with a good floor plan to be able to build the house according to what the homeowner wants. We have a group of 12 juniors that come in and work on this project. Juniors are usually not a typical student for this class. We typically like to have seniors, but because of the schedule and how it worked out this year, no seniors could take it. We have 12 juniors that come in, which works out really nice. Yeah, it's a great experience for these kids. We have a couple of seniors that come in just for 1 hour after their first hour is done to just help out as much as they can. So it works out really well. Currently, we're in the middle of framing. We've got the walls set up, and we are going to start setting the rafters as soon as the wind cooperates with us so we can start putting the rafters up on the house. We will build the house all the way through. We'll do the roofing and the siding. We subcontracted so that the concrete was poured, the plumbing and the electricity, that'll all be done by a contractor as it needs to be done. We're hoping in the future that we can continue to do this on site. It's a nice experience for these kids to realize how the construction industry works in real life.
I agree. I think that they're getting skills that are lifetime skills. They can have the confidence to do it themselves when they have a house or to fix up things, and they don't have to rely on always having to call somebody or have that expense. They can do it themselves. So what great skills that is. When do you project that the house will be done? How long does this whole process take?
We need to make sure that the house gets all the way framed out and closed in before the snow flies so that the students can start working indoors. We'll have a heater to work inside so we can do some of the sheetrock and insulation inside after the winter comes. But it might take all the way through until next spring before it's all the way completed by the time we get the siding done. We might just get the house wrap on and then start working on the inside while the snow is going, and then once the weather gets nicer again, we will be able to start putting the siding on and getting it finished that way.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be back with the Spotlight on Frazee in a minute, and I would like to ask you some more questions. I am very intrigued about this and find out if the same group of kids will be doing it for the full year or per session, and go from there. We'll be right back on Spotlight on Frazee.
Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. The City of Frazee and Frazee Event Center, featuring a 5,000 square foot room, a built-in stage, and a full-service bar, perfect for a multitude of events. Call or click to book your event. Frazee Community Club, people and business coming together to make the community fun, friendly, and thriving. Become a member and help support your community. Frazee Burgess Forum, locally owned and operated, bringing you news for the Lakes area in print or online. Subscribe today, FrazeeForum.com.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Frazee. I am Kitty. I am the miniature Hank filling in today with Andy Paulson from the high school of Frazee. And Mr. Andy has a group of 12 kids that are building a house downtown for our community. And these kids are getting it as a class. You indicated it was a 2 hour every morning. How does that work when typical classes are 1 hour long?
it's a little bit of a commitment for these kids. They have to really decide whether they want to commit to this construction class or not. Most class periods are about 50 minutes long at the high school. This class is a 2-hour-long block, so they have to commit to a 2-hour-long block for the entire year. They can't just take one hour of it or just a semester of it. When you build a house, you have to commit to it. It's not just a small project. It takes time to get all of these projects done. So the students need to make sure that they realize what a commitment is, just like any job. You can't just go to a job for an hour and then leave. You have to really commit to it and make sure that what you're doing is a full-on commitment.
Yep. That makes sense. How do you grade them then? They assume they get a grade for being in this class. I'd like to know how you arrive at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Most high school classes, you have an assignment and you get graded on what you do. When we do this class, you can't just do a C grade on a project. You can't take a test and have a poor grade. We're building a home for a person that's investing thousands of dollars into the home that they want. So if they build a wall and it's the wrong size, we take it apart and we rebuild it until it's done the right way. They're getting graded based on their work ethic, the skills that they're learning, coming to class on time, just like a regular job. I tell the kids, you can't show up to work late. If you show up to work late, you're going to get fired. You show up to work on time, you work well with others, you learn how to take on new skills and be willing to learn new things, and it's all a matter of how you work with others and understand how to adapt to new situations.
That's very great skills that these kids are learning. So you are just framing up the house, or are you doing cabinets? Are you doing sheetrock? What are you doing on the inside or just the outside?
It's a really neat situation. We've been able to work with Tim Robley. He's one of the people in charge of the Minnesota Home Builders Association in our area. So he's been working a lot with us to try and get some of the students to go to the different plants that help us out, like the rafters that are for the house. We went and toured Perham Wall and Truss. We brought the kids there. They were able to see how our trusses were being built and what the processes were there, which is great. We build the walls here. We put the walls up, and then we will put the trusses up that they deliver to us. We will put the sheetrock up, but then, like I had said before, we have to subcontract some certain things. Finishing touches, we put the sheetrock up, but to be able to tape and mud and texture the walls, a professional needs to do that to do it the exact right way, because that's a really good finishing touch. We will shingle the house. We'll put the siding on. We will do all those finishing touches as much as the students are allowed to, and then after that, if we need to hire, we will do that. And a lot of that is on the homeowner, not necessarily on us. The nice part about this project is there is a little bit of money put on top that the homeowner is responsible that comes back to the school for us to purchase some new tools, because there are costs that go along with this, whether it's scaffold or a generator, certain nail guns or screw guns to be able to put these up, which is nice to help the department out, because we all know that schools are short on money to buy equipment.
And the wear and tear on the equipment that you're using, and that I'm just so impressed that these kids have that opportunity to learn life skills. And not all kids learn well from reading in a book, so to go to the plant and see the rafters being made, it clicks in their brain. To be able to do hands-on shingling and putting a stud together and, messing up and having to tear down a wall because you're off by an inch. Those are skills you'll not get anywhere else but here.
Right. A lot of these kids might not go into the construction industry, whether they're going to be building homes for the rest of their lives or not, but they're learning these skills to be able to work in an industry where they might be able to take the skills that they're learning here and apply it to a job that they're doing somewhere else. Maybe they're going to be pounding a hammer, doing something different. Maybe they're going to be working a machine. Who knows? But learning how to work safely, work with others, those soft skills. We tour a lot of plants, and the people say they're looking for good employees. They don't care about the talent that they have. They'll teach that. They want people to show up on time and work well with others.
Well, you will get that at the Frazee High School. So if you're interested in finding out more about this for following years, come on into the office and talk to Mr. Andy. Also, I'd like to thank everybody again for letting us visit and be a spotlight of Frazee. I'm going to chop it up again because I can't be Hank, but hug your dog, kiss your wife, and then get your gas at All in All. Have a great day, and I'm done.